Hi, welcome to Marker Board Videos. Today's video is the next in our Math in Minutes series, Footsteps to Success. Today we're going to talk about how to solve quadratic equations using square roots. My name is Nancy Foote, so let's go ahead and get started. You're going to be amazed at how easy this is. But basically, if we have an equation like z squared equals 25. In a previous video I suggested that you learn the square numbers. Square numbers are numbers, the answer that you get when you square a number. So 1 squared is 1. 1 times 1 is 1, so 1 is a square number. 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 is a square number. 3 times 3 is 9, so 9 is a square number, etc. So as you can see, 25 is a square number. And in order to solve this quadratic, all you do is you take the square root of each side. So the square root of z squared is equal to the square root of 25. The square root of z squared is z, and the square root of 25 is plus or minus 5, because 5 times 5 is 25, and negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. The way that you can do that is to simply put, depends on your calculator, but you have a couple of options. You can always take a calculator. If you have one like this has a square root key on it, and just put in 25. Now it normally will only give you the positive root. It won't tell you plus or minus, but you know that it's plus or minus. The other option that you have, a lot of times you'll have a calculator that will let you raise something to a power. In this case it's this key right here. So let's clear this out, and we can say 25 raised to the 0.5 or the 1/2 power, and that also gives you the square root. Again, it's not going to tell you the plus or minus 5, but you know it's plus or minus 5. So the correct answer for this one would be plus or minus 5. Z is plus or minus 5. Now they're not always going to be that easy. Sometimes you're going to get something that looks like this. W squared minus 64 equals 0. And so the first thing that you're going to want to do is move the 64 onto the other side. And again, you know how to solve a regular equation. You just add 64 to both sides and you get w squared equals 64. Since you have your variable on one side and nothing with it, and all of your constants on the other side, all you do is you take the square root of both sides. W then equals plus or minus 8. There are actually two solutions. One is positive 8 and one is negative 8. Sometimes you'll get a problem that says how many solutions are there? Well, if the number on this side, if you have, for instance, x squared equals 121, if the number on this side is a positive number, you're always going to have two solutions. If the number on this side is a negative number, you're always going to have 0 solutions, because you're not going to be able to find the square root of a negative number unless you use imaginary numbers, and that's not part of this course. If the number on the right side is a 0, you're only going to have one solution. So if you have t squared equals, let's say, 169, how many solutions will you have? Well, 169 is a positive number. If you take this, so you're going to have two solutions. Take the square root of both sides, and t equals positive 13 and negative 13. You do indeed have two solutions. Let's do a couple more problems. X squared plus 58 equals negative 41. So I'm going to want to move 58 to the other side by subtracting 58 from both sides, and I get x squared equals, that's 99, so negative 99. And you see how this is a negative? That tells me I'm going to have no solutions, no real solutions. So the answer is no real solutions. Don't even try to take a square root, because you're going to get an error message on your calculator, or you'll get an I, which stands for an imaginary number, which is beyond the scope of this class. Sometimes you'll get something like this, h squared equals 0. Take the square root of both sides and you'll find out that h equals 0. So you have one solution. And let's do one last problem. K squared equals 86. Well, I know that's a positive number, so I should get two answers. I don't know off the top of my head what the square root of 86 is. I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator. Square root of 86 is about 9.27. So K equals 9.27 and K equals negative 9.27. If you have any questions, please leave me a question in the comment and I'll get back to you right away. Thanks and have a great day.